How's it going, everyone? Larry here at the Farmstead Way, and today I'm going to cover something that a bunch of people have been asking me about, and that is my setup for my Mossberg Shockwave. So this is actually a case that my mother and father-in-law made for me a couple years ago for a different gun, but it worked perfectly for this. Keeps it all locked up, and it's just a cool little travel case. It's a converted guitar case. So here is the, get rid of that, the gun itself. So I have not done any sort of modifications to this to make it any bit illegal. Everyone, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube stuff, but I have done some very practical things to make this way easier to shoot. So this is a Mossberg 590 Shockwave. It is technically a small shotgun, even though it's technically considered a firearm. I got ripped a bunch of times because people were saying you shouldn't call it a shotgun, but these are shotgun shells. And when you put them in here, do they turn into firearm shells or are they shotgun shells? Just use a little common sense. And I'm going to be doing a shooting demonstration of this, but first I want to go over the different parts of this. So what I did is, we'll do the forend first. This is a Hogue overmold forend. Now the regular Hogue forend grips are too long to fit on the Shockwaves because these are a bit of a shorter stroke shotgun. They don't have to travel nearly as far. So to accommodate that, I cut off about an inch off of the end of this. Now what allows this to do is gets you a really good strong purchase, and you don't have to have the hand strap on there. These are really nice because they've got this beveled taper on each end, which allows you to really get a good grip on it, and the rubber stops it from slipping. Because one of the things that happens with these guns, well, technically two things happen. When you don't have a strap and a grip on here, this will come out of your hand and this comes slamming forward, which makes really fast shooting impossible. So the first thing I did was got rid of that irregular grip and got something I can actually hold on to. Now this is the thing that everyone keeps asking me about, is they sell straps like these online, but I decided to make my own. So I put in a Sling stud in the back with a Sling swivel mount. And I took a backpack strap and looped it on here with a pistol grip, Shockwave grip they sell online. It's just a rubber sleeve, and that holds this strap along here. And when you put your hand in here, it stops the gun from going this way. So it allows you to get a really good strong grip and allows you to push against the strap. And safety's off. It allows you to shoot without the gun slamming back into your hand. When I first got this thing, it was miserable to shoot really big rounds with because you would just immediately slam your hand into it. This strap stops that. Now, something else I did that is really helpful is I put together this sling. Now, this is, I kind of added all these on here. These are quick disconnect slings. And I made it so this can be a single point and a double point sling. So I've got it so if you wanted to carry it normally, you can attach it here. You can attach it here. And now it's really comfortable to carry. It's on your back, you got that big pad. And you can shoot it like this, obviously. Now, one of the other things with the shotgun that's hard to do is get a fast target acquisition because there is no shoulder stock to get a good cheek well. So the way I overcame that is by putting another buckle on here, which turns this into a single point sling. If I can make sure I got this on here correctly. All right. Now the gun is attached to you, and when you go to get up on target, the sling acts sort of as a stock for a cheek well. This doesn't absorb any recoil, but it allows you to hold your cheek in there and to be able to look down the sights, which if you're shooting slugs, and as long as you don't anticipate recoil, it allows you to catch the recoil a little bit better. So we got a target out here at about, we'll be moving back and forth, at about maybe currently at 25 yards. So I'm gonna get eyes and ears on And we're going to be shooting a couple of different types of ammo. So I've got a basic field and target round. It's number 8 shot, 2 3/4. Then I've got a few 2 3/4 BB shot. Then I've got some military grade double-aught buck 9 pellet. I think these are 3-inch. Yeah, then I got some 3-inch, that's all I could find. 2 3-inch buckshot, and then we're gonna shoot some slugs. So, and I'm also gonna put some time on it, just to show how fast you can shoot with this. So, let me get my eyes and ears on. And I know there's a lot of people that when they're outside, they don't like to use hearing protection. I do. I am a musician, and at one point in time, I was doing it professionally, and my left ear is a little bit shot, no pun intended. These are all tangled up. I might edit this part out. Pretty well shot from loud crash cymbals and loud snare drums and just loud PA systems. So I like to wear hearing protection because I don't want the tinnitus to be any worse than it is. All right, so we're just gonna grab a few rounds of this. Like I said, this is just a basic field target load. We're gonna do some just up drills with it real fast. I'm gonna stick a few in my pocket because I'll probably just show how fast you can get back on target. All right, so this is a decent distance. This is about maybe 10 yards. So we'll go from safety off, no round in the chamber, just down, load, put one in. As a .93. Make sure I got another one in. All right, this one will just be with one in it. Actually, did I eject that round? Might edit this out. Yep. All right. So this one's got a round in it. I'll do this from safety on and then up. .82. We'll do it from another reload up. .92. Do another one. .88. .84. See if I can really get it going. Out of ammo. So, just from one-offs, you can see how fast it can be, and what you didn't notice is the gun did not move like crazy. So, now with this, which is going to be real fun, is I'm going to shoot, I think I got 4 rounds in here, as fast as I can, accurately on target, to show you that follow-up shots are very possible with this. And it's even possible with birdshot. So we won't do this with time. All right, here we go. Crap. Pretty fast. All right, so let's go back over here. So we'll skip this because this pretty much has the exact same firepower as this. We'll go to the little bit more powerful military grade buckshot. So I've always loved these really short guns ever since I was a kid, and it was always really bummed me out for people saying how impractical these guns are and how they'd much rather have a short barrel shotgun with a stock on it. But I think you can do just as much damage with these. All right. All right, so we'll put some time on this. Empty chamber. So, all right. .90. .83. I got another one. Nope. And that was it. All right. You can be pretty fast with these. Now, this won't be for time. This will be just for recoil management. I got two 3-inch high brass buckshot. I'm gonna do my best to be accurate with this. Now, what I found works best with this is if you aim a little low. For some odd reason, that just helps you to get better on, because I don't know if it's just the recoil anticipation or just how much movement there is with running the gun, but it tends to want to bring the muzzle up a little bit. So if you aim low, that helps. All right, so like I said, this isn't for time, this is just for recoil. All right, so here we go. Like I said, getting that good cheek well. Woo! Again. What you didn't notice is I didn't lose the gun at all. It didn't come out of my hand, and I got the shots on target. All right, now we're gonna come back here. And this is a decent distance with this. These are high brass slugs. And we're gonna stand back a little bit and shoot these, which for a gun that's got no stock on it, this is a little tricky. I haven't done this in a hot second, so I want to do my best not to miss. Those kick hard. I got a few more right here just because that's fun and I missed one. It's really easy to anticipate the recoil, but if you just use good trigger management, there's a little bit different brands, but oh well. All right, so we'll go again. So with just a few slight modifications, these guns are very, very usable. I'm working on setting up a good breacher rig for this gun for my body armor, so that way I can have a magnet so I can attach it right here. I know they use a lot of these shorty guns for breaching and whatnot, and something you can use, like if you got this thing set up for the single point sling, you can actually use that front stud for the sling as a little bit of a standoff device, so you don't have to jam your barrel into stuff. And so, you know, you can use it. This isn't loaded at all, but if you wanted to breach, you could with it. And if you had an opposite side door, what you could do is, instead of doing this goofy thing, you can actually turn the gun upside down, jam it in, and use your thumb to pull the trigger. Which I've actually talked to, I'm trying to think what branch of the Army was. He's an Army guy, but he went through the breaching school, and he said that they used Mossberg 500s with regular pistol grips, and what he liked to do is use his pinky. Well, I feel like that wouldn't give you as much control and would take a little bit longer to get. So say if it's too awkward, all you gotta do is flip the gun over and hold it out, click, kick the door, and all you have to do is flip the gun back over and you're ready to go. So these things are really, really nifty with these. I mean, you can use the back end to bust out windows, and it's a lot easier on your wrist versus trying to take all that recoil straight in. This gives you a bit more of a straight line up your arm, and it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. So like I said, once again, because everyone's always asking to get a better shot of this. Oh, and one more thing. So the way I made this sling work, and there's not a lot of people that know how to do this, or I've seen do it, is sometimes they'll sell plates that go in here with a ring on it. So what I did is I pushed out the trigger assembly pin all the way out and replaced it with a threaded bolt. So I got a nut on this side, and this is actually the plate from a side saddle, and that acts as a perfect spacer to drive the bolt in, and that allows you to clip this in and give you that swivel point. And it's out a little bit further so you can get a good target acquisition. Shotguns are really, really underrated. I've just read a whole bunch of books about a guy who did a lot of hunting in Africa, Peter Hathaway Capstick, and he said he used 12 gauge shotguns on leopards, and he even said that he had a lion jump him at 4 feet when he was bird hunting in Africa, and he was just using regular bird shot, and about 4 foot it turned the lion's head into watermelon, just exploded it everywhere. So don't discount the Mossberg Shockwave. You don't have to do all the stuff like putting the pistol brace on there. If you can just get a strap on there, and if you can hold on to the thing, you can be extremely accurate with one of these, and they're very, very handy guns. I would be willing to take this with me into any sort of situation with confidence. All right. So if you have any comments, questions, just let me know. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers from the last EDC video I did. So hopefully you guys like this, like, share, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton on the channel, and you all take it easy.